היום יהיה יום טוב עם כל מה שיבוא היום יהיה יום טוב עם כל מה שיבוא כי יש פה ארץ.
Hey, we are live at Hillel Yeshiva, Season 2, Episode 2 of the Chanoch Lenar podcast. I am Rabbi Katz, and I'm here with my co-host,
Rabbi B.
Rabbi B. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. It's been a great, short but great week here. For those, just to give a little placement, we are the day before we break for Sukkot right now.
Yeah, you know, just with the 2 days that we have, it feels like about a month long of programming.
We did a lot of programming, and some programming we had to cancel due to some last-minute structural changes delivered by Hashem.
Yeah, that was okay. It was fun. At least almost everyone got to see it, though. We had good intentions. We had a portable Sukkot.
You want to tell our viewers what we're talking about?
Yeah, we put up portable Sukkot, you know, so that everyone gets a chance to learn the halachot in the
These beautiful Sukkot. Beautiful.
Beautiful. We did have a wind tunnel last night at about 4:30, and it was
probably about after, like right before high school dismissal. Like we're like 5 o'clock. We're standing in the car in the bus circle.
But it was windy. We were like holding onto our kippah. Like it was. Windy.
I already had a backup kippah on.
Yeah.
I was literally talking to a parent at carpool. And as I'm talking to the parent, my kippah flew off my head to God knows where, and she just handed me another kippah through the window.
So as I think I actually was saying that to you, that's not your kippah. And then as that happened, we see like something like flying there, and sure enough,
and landed on Rabbi Katz's car.
It was smack on my car. A little damage here. There, nothing like a
couple of scratches.
Couple of scratches. You know, it's okay. It's part. You know,
that's. Did you call the body shop guy?
I did call him. Yeah, we got it from one of our coaches. Give me. We'll see. We'll take care of it after Sukkot. Right now, priority Sukkot.
I actually went back and watched the video, and it took about 10, 15 minutes for the whole thing to actually happen. So we had the sukkah set up like right outside of Saka Fields, like on the grass, and the first you see the big gust of wind come, and the sukkah went completely on its head into the Foursquare court on the driveway, and then stood there for about like 5-10 minutes, and then all of a sudden starts moving down the driveway. Then you switch cameras and you go to where me and Rabbi Katz are standing. You see the driveway behind us, and all of a sudden you see the sukkah creeping out.
But and somehow the poles had to like screech on the side of my car up until that. It was like perfect. It was a perfect wind.
It was a perfect line.
Until
and then then somebody backed out and pulled away, and I think maybe the wind from that or the vacuum from that, the sukkah followed that car, and it just Rabbi Katz's car stopped the sukkah.
Okay, so anyway, so that was
that's good. Not what this podcast is about. But I couldn't not mention.
That was funny, but most importantly, we had Chazanim last week that were just outstanding. That was the best. We had 5 Chazanim
from Israel,
and some locals.
Yes, we had the Tehrani.
Yeah, they're such outstanding voices.
Unbelievable
Brothers.
Yeah.
The kids, I have to tell you,
Chazan Yonatan with the violin. I love that guy.
I mean, the videos show it all. Yeah. The kids knew the Selichot like beyond. It sure does.
I think as impressive as the Chazanim, the kids were either as impressive or more impressive with what they knew and how they were singing.
Yeah,
when they hit that Anenu note, like unbelievable.
You know, part of it, you know, people were saying it was because we had the extra weeks, but I think in general, you know, we've really picked up the whole Kiryah program and the Ivrit and what we're teaching. The kids are really praying better. They're reading better.
They're enjoying reading.
They're enjoying reading. I found 2 kids. It was the cutest thing. I have a picture of this. They were sitting outside of the 4th grade, just going back and forth, and they were just going back and forth, and it was like
just for fun, just for fun. Okay, now you go. All right, now you go.
No, but that's what it looked like. There was no one there, and it was just it was cute. You had that going on, and you know all the prep for Rosh Hashanah and for Kippur, and
I think you're right. I think having a full Elul. Yeah. Like September and Elul lined up nicely that we were here for the entire month, and we had so much learning going on. If you look at October now, it's like maybe 7 days total in October.
Got a lot of learning. I mean, between the ELC, the elementary and middle school, they got a tremendous amount of both on the general studies side and the Judaic studies side. It was, I mean, when do you even get in like X amount of work projects and all these different things before before Sukkot is. I don't think it's like
They had the Sukkot decoration contest yesterday.
Yeah. Chains,
To make the longest chain, and like the simplest things, like just with no budget, just you can come up with simple things if you plan ahead. And we have this amazing team in the elementary school and the middle school, and they just make these events that are so nice. And then yesterday at the end of school, like yesterday, everybody goes home, and then we had this new club based on the fact that we're trying to lower down on the tech and just give kids chances just to play, just a good old-fashioned play. So they had like an hour-long like play date, like full school play date out in our playground with Mrs. Mavora and Ruthie Mavora and Mrs. Asulin, and they just out there like
what was the name of the club? It
was called Play Club.
It's called Play Club. But I see. I want to be Mrs. Mavora and Mrs. Asulin. They're so cool at how they.
They were in their little Play Club hats. I felt a little left out.
Yeah,
and I let them know it. I want a Play Club hat next week.
The club. I don't know how, but when they call a club or an event, they have over 75 kids who sign up automatically.
You had to see the dismissal of the cars.
Yeah.
It was like 150 cars in the parking lot to pick up.
And then the kids come in, and then they say the next day, that was the most amount of fun, best fun I've ever had.
And it was just like recess forever.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Kids were drawing on the floor. People were playing volleyball and
blowing bubbles, jump rope, kickball, football,
You know what the kids actually said? It was like, because it's different than recess where you just go out for 15, 20 minutes. You have a full hour
finish the game
with all your friends, and you're hanging out. How often do you get to hang out with 50 of your friends after school?
Mrs. Vore said something also interesting, just for play purposes. Like when you have recess and the game is rushed, there's a lot of opportunities for people to not let people join because they're rushed and they're not going to have their turn or whatever it is. Mrs. Mavora said that at Play Club, anytime somebody came into the game, like, okay, just come. Just you're the next one. You're the last one or whatever. Because they weren't worried. They weren't stressed out. They were just going to play for like an hour, so everyone's going to get a turn. So get out there and play,
Yeah, so that's very exciting. I think that
and they want to do it again. Well,
I think we'll have them. We'll have them on one of these days for on the show to tell us a little bit about it. Speaking about that, we're about to announce a save the date for Dr. Yoni Schwab Technology at the DSN Beach Club
parents, right?
For parents.
We'll have some groups earlier in the day for kids here.
Yeah, he's going to be speaking to the kids and then to the parents. He's a really he's down to earth, very practical, more practical tips. When when we spoke with Jonathan Haidt that time, it was more about the why. Why we're doing all this.
This
now
is about the how.
The how.
The what.
And the what and practical steps for the parents. So that's exciting. That's coming up. So look out for that. And then the whole month before you know it, it's Thanksgiving already. By the time we get back.
Gosh, don't say that.
So we got a lot of things coming up. And anyway, it was a very positive start of the year. And I think all the administrators, all the teachers were really super outstanding at the beginning of this year. They work so hard, so that's so nice, and we have a lot of parent volunteers and PTA, and so that was great. But anyway, enough with some of the side chatter and the updates.
The main focus of our podcast we want it to be is education.
Yeah,
and like educational ideas, educational pathways, which is the name of our podcast, the Chanoch Lanar Educational Pathways. So.
Yeah, without further ado, we welcome the famous, the one and only Rabbi Sadok to our show. How are you, Rabbi Sadok?
Our beloved fourth grade Rebbe.
Thank you for having me.
It's our honor. Rabbi Sadok, all the parents and the students here, our beloved Rebbe, where the parents call you for advice, and they trust you, and even with their 6th, 7th, 8th graders, they call you. What is it? What's the secret that everyone has that love? I know. I see that wonderful smile and how you interact, and your passion, and we'll get to some of that stuff. But like it's infectious. The parents, like, what is it? What have you done these years that the parents they flock to you and the kids?
I'm not sure how to answer that question. I would just say that I think that the parents know that I love their kids. And because of that, I think when you love the students and they know that their kids are being loved, so they have a trust and then you get close with the parents, you get close with the whole family, and it just happens naturally.
That's wonderful. They see the realness. You know, you don't always see that. They see, you know, it's authentic, it's real, it's care, and all of that, and they get that literally, right?
Yeah. I think
24 hours a day.
I think it's a good thing that you're saying. It's very true that if you have to speak to a parent, and to me, I think this is what's very special about Rabbi Sadok. I mean, a lot of teachers do it, but I know that Rabbi Sadok has a very, very good relationship, not only with all his kids, but all of the parents of kids that he's had, and some of the parents that he hasn't had their kids yet. Maybe he tutors them or he knows them in the community. I know even when I come up to 5th grade and I have them, or 8th grade and I have them in my class, and I'm just trying to figure out how am I going to connect with this student. I go back to Rabbi Sadok and I say, just what's the secret ingredient here? What's the spice? What do you know? And what can you tell me? How can you help me? And it's not dirt. It's gold. It's treasure. It's what you should know about this guy is if you do like this, or if you should know this is what he's dealing with, and this is how he learns. Rabbi Sadok knows the kids. He knows the families, and like you said, they trust you. They trust you because they know that you love them, like you're saying. And when the parents know that the Rebbe or that the teacher loves them, anything you have to speak to them about is not antagonistic. You're not calling to complain. You're calling to talk to the parents and collaborate, and they know it and they love it.
Can I answer that? Just about that, I actually had to speak to a parent yesterday. I usually text, and I think that the mother was, when I get to my son, I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to tell him he can't do this in class, and it was more like Mrs. whatever so and so. It's not about get your son in trouble. I'm not trying to call to get him in trouble. It's more like, you shouldn't come to parent-teacher night and hear the first time, this is what's happening with your son. You should know every step of the way. So it's more like I'm just updating you so that you're in the know. We're here as a team together to work through this. You tell me any strategies you know that work. I'll tell you any strategies that I know that work.
You can't make your child behave in my class. That's my problem. I just need advice.
Was there someone in your life that inspired you to see this, to be that way? Where did you get this whole path, this outlook to? Because obviously it's natural for many people, and clearly people don't have it. But did you learn any of these techniques, any of these? Or it's just self-taught and figuring it out yourself? So
I would say that I definitely, throughout my school years, have had teachers that building relationships was very important, and I was the beneficiary of that.
As a student?
As a student. Definitely had many times in my life where I had that. In college, in grad school, I graduated this past May. And certain teachers in Azrieli stressed, certain classes were about the social emotional piece and about how it's not just what you learn in school, because in 20 years from now, maybe they won't be able to remember every detail that you told them, every halacha that you told them, but the relationship that they'll have for the rest of their life. So I did get that from people. I would say probably got that the most from my grandmother, Aliyah Shalom. She was close with. She had like hundreds of nephews and nieces, and she was very close with all of them. She called them for their birthdays. She called them before the holiday. They didn't call her.
Wow.
And she's much older than them. So I definitely got that from her. I had a story recently, happened last year, where a teacher from 1st grade came to visit the building. And her daughter was starting to work here, and she saw me. And it was 30 years to the date, basically, since I left her class. And she came over to me during lunch. Someone came and said, Rabbi Sadok, someone's looking for you. And I saw her in the lunchroom, and she says, you don't know who I am, but I know who you are. So I'm like, I know who you are also. You're Miss Posner. She says, I'm not Miss Posner anymore. I'm Mrs. Bressler. I think that's her last name. But she said, when I told this story to my students, and they asked me, because we were learning about Yosef at that time, about how Yosef, when his brothers came down to Mitzrayim, they didn't recognize him, but he recognized them.
Wow.
And that was that wasn't 30 years. That was much less than 30 years. So one of my students asked me, how is it possible for her to remember you? You should remember her. She shouldn't remember you according to what we learned in class. And I love that.
Wow.
A critical thinking type of question.
Yeah, sure.
Beautiful.
And I thought on the spot an answer, and I just said, when you care about somebody, when you have hasagot that they could be there, then you recognize them. Yosef's brothers never in a million years would have thought that he would be the king. So he could be sitting right in front of them. They would never think that, and they weren't even looking for him. But she was looking for me. I guess she thought I could be a teacher. I don't know. She was able to see me. She was able to recognize me.
Wow. That's amazing. That's very that's where you get it. You had teachers like that throughout your life that were inspirational to you.
And again, a big mabruk and mazal tov.
You did bring that up.
He did finish Israeli graduate school.
That was, by the way, the most special day last year.
Yeah.
Can I
Well, first, he has a master's in Jewish education. He spoke at the graduation.
Yes.
He represented his classmates.
He sent us the speech.
Yeah, he sent us a speech. And you could tell about what that was like.
I mean,
I guess the love works both ways.
Yeah.
So
this Rabbi Sadok not only loves his students. The students love him, and you could tell. I mean, last year they set up this whole thing where on a Friday, one of the parents, Mrs. Safdie, I don't know how she got you there, or what you thought you were going there for, but Erev Shabbat he had to go to the house to either pick something up or drop something off, and every fourth grade boy was waiting by the house to surprise Rabbi Sadok with just like a sign, like just a mazal tov. And the funny thing is, Rabbi Sadok wasn't there for this, but I came like maybe 2 minutes before he did, and I just as a joke I walk in and they're all out on the front lawn, and just as a joke, and I'm like, okay, everybody hide, right? And instead of like laughing, they all ran away and ran behind the house. I'm like, no, don't really hide. But it was so much better because when Rabbi Sadok walked up, they all ran out from behind the house and just surrounded him. It was the most beautiful thing. So you could tell they get it. They get how much you care about them because they give it to you back in the return.
Yeah. And also you learned, I know you have a nice history. You went to Magen David. You went to Torah Shraga, and then you went to Mikdash, and then to Rabbi Diamond's Kollel, and so you have a lot of, I'm sure, also a lot of inspiring people along the way, and a real special past that continues to grow. That we reap the benefits from. What does your day look like here? Like what do you enjoy the most about Hillel and coming to school and taking the school to a new level?
Okay, so what's my day look like? My day looks like I'm here from 8 a.m., sometimes 8:02. Okay. And
yeah, we know.
And
from the clogging?
No, I didn't sign up to that yet. But so sometimes I'm here.
Business office, if you're listening, he just admitted 2 minutes late he came.
You could talk me from times 180. Anyway, so I'm here from 8 o'clock. I'm here till about 4 o'clock with dismissal. And I have 2 classes, AM class, PM class. So that's something special about the elementary school is that only 4th grade has a real Rebbe. Because up until 4th grade, they have a Mora. Right. And then from 5th grade, they have a lot of rabbis, but they're switching from class to class to class. So 4th grade is really the only class that you have a Rebbe for the whole
day. One Rebbe.
One Rebbe.
That's my Rebbe.
For your day, basically. So that's very special. And what do I look forward to coming the most? I would say is definitely in the hallway. The kids in the hallway. They are so nice and so warm, and kids that are not in my class, they come up to me. The Rabbi said, "Oh, high five." And sometimes there's people next to me, and they're saying, like, "Rabbi, I thought you taught 4th grade. Like, how does a 1st grader know who you are?" I said, honestly, I have no idea. I don't know what his name is. I don't know what her name is.
They're all all talking about you.
But Baruch Hashem, seeing the faces and seeing the smiles on everyone's faces, the exciting.
Those little guys know that when they're in 4th grade, they're going to have a Rebbe.
Yeah.
They look for you're it. You're the Rebbe.
And you're really you teach a variety of subjects, including Chumash and even you have involvement in Ivrit and Kriya and all these different subjects, Yadut and Halacha. You're teaching everything. You have a lot of fun with it, and also now I see you're getting very excited. Tell us a little bit about what's going on these days about the Bet Hillel. Is there some new things,
New undertaking?
New undertaking. I see big things happening here.
So this year, Baruch Hashem, I started. I took over from 4th grade, 5th grade, and 6th grade, and Rabbi Nahum's taking over 7th and 8th grade. And so Bet Hillel's going to be more concentrated the Tuesday nights. It's Tuesday nights this year from 6:15 to 7 o'clock. And it's since it's a smaller group, it's more concentrated on the younger boys, the 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Right.
So they're excited about it, that it's their special.
And there's
Bet
dinner
Hillel.
every time.
And there's dinner every time.
It's
Parents
not
are
just
sending
snacks.
their kids out during dinner time. They're getting dinner. Don't worry.
getting
Dinner,
fed.
dinner and a show.
I got
Sadok,
feedback about that.
What was that the commitment that you had, whoever's in charge, make? Just if you were going to take this over and do this, that there had to be dinner, and it had to go that way.
So I requested dinner.
Yeah.
I said that the parents are definitely happy when they know that my son's going out for 40 minutes.
Care of.
It takes 10 minutes to get there each way back and forth. If there's a carpool, it takes a little bit longer. So the parents are giving up an hour of the child's night. And therefore, I felt like it would be fair for them that they should be fed there, so that hour is not at the expense of dinner
Right.
time. Now they're going to bed later and they're coming to school the next day later.
Or they're coming home just having eaten candy and cookies.
Exactly.
All sugared up.
Exactly.
And
So,
not
so
enough.
I asked
Right.
that, and they were very receptive to it. And
Yeah.
the kids are excited about
Sure.
having dinner. Yes.
Very
That's
good.
great. It's fantastic. I see you also. You sent us a little information today. It says that you are a trained relationship coach.
Oh, so
How does that work? Because
I knew that would catch her. I totally
I know.
forgot about that.
me and Rabbi Katz might need a little help. So if you want to talk to us,
He gets very annoyed on the podcast that I say I'm Rabbi Katz and this is Rabbi E. So we may need some therapy or some.
I'm gonna say very clearly that a coach is not a therapist. We have an in-house therapist over here. I know they don't like when coaches
No, you're right. I'll change
when-
it. We need guidance.
guidance.
so do you actually?
So when I was by Rabbi Diamond's yeshiva,
Yeah.
I started teaching boys before they were getting married, and it was not official.
Khatan classes.
Not the chatan. It
But
was
the relationship part of
schmooze.
it.
It was a
The
schmooze.
relationship part of
Yeah,
it.
I had relationships with a lot of the boys, and therefore that turned into you get involved with somebody, you're involved with them. You bought in forever. So I said if people are calling me and asking me things, I might as well know what I'm talking about. Hopefully, so I took a few different types of courses. Life coach, relationship coach, marriage coaching, and I never did anything with it in terms of like charging for it. But it was basically just for me to know what I'm doing. If people are going to be calling me, I want to
Wow,
make
that's
sure
very
that I'm
special.
giving them.
So you don't take money for it.
No, I never did.
Wow.
That's great. Everyone hear that out there.
Free relationship coaching.
Live coaching. Rabbi Sadok does that for free because he just loves the Bnei Yisrael. He loves the Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael Chai. He just said he loves all the Jewish
You
people.
can look him up on freecounselingforyourmarriage.com.
Rabbi Sadok's always funny to joke with, and
So, but you're still actively involved in coaching?
So once I left the kollel, I haven't had that supply anymore.
Okay.
So it's basically if somebody knows of someone that needs and last minute something happened, they'll call me and I'll give them the chatan shmooze and then see
Okay.
how it goes after
Very
that.
special.
okay.
Very special. So once you get connected to Rabbi Sadok, you're in for life.
That's it. Yeah, you're part of it.
Right.
You're part of his family. It was very nice. I could see this, the real specialness of Rabbi Sadok. He texts all the time before Shabbat and wishes Shabbat Shalom and before the holidays and before he just does. He cares.
Did he pray for you? He prayed for you on
He
that?
did pray for me.
Beautiful.
I was going to offer.
You don't want us to talk about that. Okay, well,
I was going to offer to pray for him, but I didn't think mine was. I'd rather take his.
I really rolled the dice on that question because let's say you didn't. Let's say you didn't pray for you.
No, he did. He actually texted after
I
that.
know
He
he did, right.
He's Rabbi Sadok is very, very special, and we need more people out there like that in the chinuch world and out there in life. So thank you, Rabbi Sadok, for being who you are. You're an amazing, exceptional Rebbe, a family member as part of our team here, and we'll keep going to you also for guidance. And we look forward to growth and success. And
We just ask for like one advice to new mechanchim out there. Like, what's the golden piece that you can give any new mechanech out there or mechanechet going into the field for the first time? You know, if you had to tell them, listen, everything you learned in school is great, but this is the one thing you got to know. What would it be?
And if I could just add to that, it's really it goes hand in hand at part B. You know what I love about Rabbi Sadok? A lot of people out there, they need to teach. You know, when they give a shiur, they have to go immediately to like college age. You know, I'm giving a class, a Gemara class. It's got to be to high school. It's got to be. Rabbi Sadok is 4th grade. You know, and I think that's a beautiful age that that the kids really need the Rebbe the most. And I just think it's an amazing thing that you chose that, and other people are.
I'll tell you,
fell into it.
I fell into it. I would say.
But
in Mag and David, that's the only thing that was available.
Oh, wow.
And then when I came to Hillel, Rabbi Kassan said, "You did 4th grade. You're staying in 4th grade."
I remember sitting with you with Mrs. Mavora, and you were telling us about you were 4th grade assistant Rebbe, co-Rebbe, and you said, but you always ended up having to be the one, right? To talk to parents. I
did a lot.
Right,
yes,
right.
I did a lot.
And that was good training because
the rabbi that I worked with.
Yeah.
He very much wanted to make sure that it was a hands-on training and not a watch and see type of training.
Very good. That's fantastic.
Hey, so
what's that one thing?
Give it to us.
New mechanchim out there. What do they need to know from you?
So I would say that if I only had time for one, I would say that basically, just because you know more than the students know doesn't make you better than them. You have to remember your 8-year-old self, your 9-year-old self. When you were 9-year-old, you were not a teacher. You were a 9-year-old boy, a 9-year-old girl. So as a teacher, you have to basically bring yourself to the students' level and figure out what they know and what they don't know, how their mind works, and talk to them on their level, and talk to them as if they don't have the background information. A lot of times teachers, they teach and they've been doing it for so many years that they think that I know it, and I assume that they must have learned something about this in the past, and there's a lot of information that's missing along that way. So, you know, to basically don't have any prejudgments that what they do know, what they don't know, talk to them fresh. And if they do know something, that's amazing, because now you have a buy-in, they're excited about learning it. But to start off as if they never learned it again before, and also that you should put your head like how does the grade that I'm teaching, how do they learn? At what level do they learn? And to make it appropriate for their level so that they do have that excitement. It's not just, I'm giving you information, now I downloaded it into your head. One day they will have that. Right. But right now we're not holding by that.
Given the same information, they could be just as smart as you, just as good as you.
Exactly. They could be smarter. They could be smarter than you. They could be kids in my class that
probably
have a better, higher IQ than I am. So I shouldn't feel like I'm better than anybody.
I just have more information. I have to give it to them and figure out how they can learn it.
And to make them excited about it, because at the end of the day, you know, they might not remember anything that they learned in my class, but they'll come out and they'll remember that Torah was enjoyable. Right. And if we have a relationship with Hashem, that's really the most important thing.
100%.
Obviously, what we learn in school is important, obviously. But the most important thing, I think nobody would disagree with this, is that to be able to open a Siddur, to pray to Hashem no matter where you are in life, and to have that.
And to
I
feel
can
good
open
about
up a Chumash and not be intimidated to learn a Pasuk.
Right.
That's something that hopefully I hope that they get.
By the way, part of that excitement is you want to keep the kids excited. Rabbi Furman, actually from an Israeli He was my teacher in Israeli graduate school. He once said, sometimes just sit in the child's seat, that particular, and look at the board and try to look from his lens, how you're looking from that angle, what you see, what the vision is, any obstructions, any things that, how to make it exciting. Think like a kid, start thinking like
Beautiful.
Thought that was very valuable. Anyway, Rabbi Sadok, hopefully we'll have you on again. This was very valuable. You're really a great asset to the community. You're very heavily involved in the community. And we only look forward to many, many more years to come. Tiskulu Shanim Rabot, Chag Sameach. And hope you get some good vacation time, relaxing time.
Enjoy your family, yeah.
Enjoy your family. And everyone out there, again, remember signing up for the Dr. Schwab. There's going to be a save the date sign up. Let's do that. Let's start with that. We'll continue with all the wonderful things that are happening. Make sure you review with your children. Don't forget all the Sukkot and the Rosh Hashanah packet.
Yeah, don't forget the 1st through 4th grade to do your Chachmei Hillel mitzvah cards. We have a nice, beautiful raffle coming up right when we come back. And also the 5th through 8th grade MVP tefillah raffle. That's right. Come back.
So
nice stuff.
Anyway, signing off from season 2, episode 2, with Rabbi Sadok on our podcast called
the Chanoch Lenar podcast here at Hillel Yeshiva, and of course
Carl Wallace,
our producer,
famous Carl Wallace. Everyone, Carl, thank you as always. You're really great over there.
הסוף מחר כבר יש היום, זה היום, זה המקום, שמיים נפתחו פתאום, זה היום, אני אזרום, בואו ונשאיר את הפזמון. Till I'm on my way, all I've got is just today. This one day I won't give